Hey guys, what's up? Bluswept here with another video game review. Now, today is the release date for a game made by Sony Entertainment called Killstrain. Now, you guys might be wondering what is Killstrain. It might not be a game that you guys have heard of before, and that's alright. So today we're going to go ahead and show you what it is, and I'll go over the pros and cons of the game. Now, without further ado, why don't we go ahead and look at the intro to the game before we actually look at the game itself.
Our world has evolved. We have evolved. With the advent of the strain, humankind made a cosmic leap forward in evolution and paid a price in blood most consider far too high. Not long ago, global events triggered the emergence of a bizarre substance referred to as the strain. It was dangerous and volatile, but filled with potential. Savvy corporations realized this potential and focused efforts to harness its power and monopolize it. It ushered a golden age of discovery. Evolutionary advancements in biomechanics, cybernetics, and genetic augmentations were all fruits born of the strain. But then, horrific side effects began to occur. Psychotic behavior and hideous mutation were the cause of many of the deaths and outbreaks. Humanity had developed a reliance on the strain, and greed from the corporations assured that reliance wouldn't end anytime soon. Most times this leads to escalating competition in life and death situations, leaving entire regions in shambles. The corporations post open contracts to mercenaries to cope with the overrun and quarantine zones. The mercs come prepared for war. Dealing death earns their wage. Some are driven by honor, others by greed, and those who simply enjoy the hunt. This is our world now. A world with no such thing as a fair fight, where evolution reigns supreme, and mutants and psychopaths determine our fate.
I want to go ahead and start off with a section called If You Like. Now what I do in the section is I tell you if you like a certain game or a certain game type, you'll like this game. If you're fond of games such as Dota and League of Legends, you might like this game. What I mean by this is Killstrain is an overhead MOBA, but is also a twin-stick shooter, which I think is why it's on console, because you can't have a twin-stick shooter work very well on PC, in my opinion. And I think that's why it works so well on console, too, because I don't, as the other way around, I don't think I can see a regular MOBA, not including Smite or Paragon, because those are third-person shooter MOBAs. I don't think I could see a overhead MOBA game on console without some sort of twin-stick implementation. Now, moving forward, there is 3 teams, which is unusual for a competitive game. Any competitive game is usually 2 teams going at each other. This is 3 teams going at each other in a MOBA-style lane map. Now, the number of lanes, I haven't actually counted the number of lanes, and people don't actually use them, but I believe there's about 3. Now, the teams are situated on either end and one on top in a sort of triangle shape. 2 of the teams have 5 players. Those are the humans. Their job is to take out the strain, and the other team is the strain. 2 players randomly get put on the strain side. That's why you have to choose 2 characters when you're queuing up, because in order to play the game, you have to be ready to play either as the strain or as a human, and speaking of, the strain can actually take players over. If a strain player kills enough human players, they go into a rage and can drag players into the strain, the virus, and infect those players with the strain. Those players then become part of the strain, and from there, the team keeps growing and growing until the strain takes over the entire map. Now, this is an interesting take on Infected, and I know that developers said they wanted to go for a style similar to zombies, being able to infect people with a zombie virus, but then they changed it to make it more humane, something to that effect. I don't remember the exact quote that the developers used. But it is an interesting take on being able to infect people. The only issue this causes is, yes, there's a team of 2. Yes, they are a little bit more powerful in order to compensate for that. But it also kind of sucks because when a human player gets taken to the infected side, that's less players on the other teams that can take out the virus and more virus that spreads around the map. And it's somewhat unbalanced. And I think that Sony could probably balance that out a little bit in terms of being able to take people over on the team, because it can quickly become 5v2 all the way to the other way around, 2v5, and that's at that point you're just pretty much guaranteed a loss if you're still on the human side. And that's another thing too. I have played many games on this so far, and so far the only team that has won is the Strain team. I have not seen any human teams win, and I think that's due to the fact that the human teams can also fight each other. And I think they need to start working together, and I don't know if there's any video tutorials on this game, but that is my tip. My number one tip for this game is do not fight the other human team, fight the virus. Because if both teams don't fight the virus, you're fighting each other, you're not going to win the match. Eventually the virus has to die, and that's the main purpose of the game, is to kill the virus. And if you don't kill the virus wins. And so far, all I've seen is the virus team win. If you don't get taken over, that's counted as a loss. If you get taken over to the Strain side, then that's counted as a win for you, but that's great. But it could be balanced out a little bit better. Maybe not make these little... They have these little Strain things that the players on the Strain side can drop that spreads the virus. Those things are so powerful, and I think it takes almost a full team to take them out. Or you can just toss like a grenade or something at it, and it takes it out right away. But surrounding the Strain base, there's like hundreds of them, and you know, when the Strain starts picking players off of your team, it starts to become a little unbalanced, especially when the other human team is trying to fight you as well. It just doesn't go over very well, and I think they either need to take out that ability, take away a team and double the other team, so instead of having 5v5v2, have it 10v2, and have balance out the Strain a little bit more. Also, I think it presents somewhat of a different thing to it too, because it's not something that I've seen before, and I'm kind of liking that 5v5v2 sort of thing, because it forces you to either fight against each other or work together, and that's definitely a positive that this game has done. Now, moving on, there is, of course, like Dota and League of Legends, a marketplace. Now, the game is free to play, like Dota and like League of Legends, but the game company Sony wanted this game to be actually free to play, and paying for stuff is only if you want cosmetic stuff for right now. There's gold and silver. Silver can be earned in-game and by doing these missions, such as earning a certain amount of points per game, killing a certain amount of players, doing certain tasks, easy stuff, and those can earn you up to 500 silver, I believe. And just to give you a sort of way to show you just how much silver that is, usually a player costs between 4,000 to 6,000 silver, so you know, these challenges really do help you unlock more characters. Or you can just use microtransactions and buy gold, which will net you the characters right away. You use real money to buy gold, and use the gold to buy characters. It's kind of a waste of real money when you can just earn them by playing the game. However, the game is insanely repetitive. That's the downside to this game. At least in the early access version, there was only one map. I'm sure that Sony's going to bring several maps forward to play on, but for right now there was only one map, and it got kind of boring. The gameplay got kind of seriously repetitive. Like, I know that in League of Legends and Dota, of course, there's different maps, different game modes. There is one game mode in Killstrain. One game mode, that's it. And honestly, it's so repetitive. There needs to be more game modes, more variety, more objectives, something to keep players playing this game. If you want to try it, it's not a very big download. It's only a few gigabytes. It is something to give a shot, but if I had to rate this game, I would say that I'd probably rate it 4 out of 10, just because this game could use some serious improvement, weapon balancing. I mean, the human players, they just seem so weak, and a lot of things need to be fixed, a lot of things need to be added, taken away, changed, but they're headed in the right direction with this type of gameplay on consoles. You know, Paragon and Smite, yes, they are MOBAs, but they are not the classic MOBAs that you can go on PC and play, and I think that they are starting to come over to console now, that companies are seeing an innovative way to add them into the game, such as adding the twin stick type gameplay where you move with one stick and you aim with the other and you press R2 to shoot. That's not something like that's how a first person shooter works, but that's not something I've seen twin stick wise on console, and I think again that's a plus. But thank you guys for watching. I know I've wasted about 8 minutes of your time on this, but I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I hope you guys come back for more reviews I'll do in the future. I got this game as an early access, and I'm still waiting to see how it will be on release, and I'll probably release an update on my Twitter or Facebook page. If you guys want to go follow me on Twitter, it's at Bluswept, and if you guys want to go find me on Facebook, it's Bluswept on Facebook, and if you're on a computer, you can put in the direct link, facebook.com/Bluswept, and you guys remember that's Bluswept without an E. It's just BLU. But that's all for this week, guys. Thanks for watching. Remember, I always put the link down in the description to go donate to the charity that this channel supports, St. Jude's Children's Hospital. You guys can donate there, and I will see you guys on the cyber side.